say you are good.
Who says that?
What to expect?
Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we are shifting gears a little bit. We're entering a special segment I like to call Rearview Cinema.
Oh, I like that.
We're looking into the rearview mirror at the history of Hollywood, but we're doing it with two very different pairs of eyes. I'm here representing the popcorn crowd, you know, the people who just want to be entertained, who want the thrill, the ride, the escape.
And I suppose that leaves me as the critic in the passenger seat. I'm here to look past the spectacle and, well, try to find the artistic soul, the human anguish that actually drives the machine.
Okay, dramatic.
Because usually, the bigger the explosion on screen, the deeper the wound that caused it in the director's life.
That is a very dramatic way to put it, but it fits perfectly because today we have the ultimate subject for this kind of split perspective. We're talking about the man who literally invented the modern blockbuster, the king, Steven Spielberg.
It's a massive topic. We're working off a really comprehensive retrospective from a cinema-focused broadcast featuring analyst Kim Johan, which gives us a fantastic roadmap of his career.
A great roadmap. But we aren't just listing movies today.
No,
the mission is specific. We want to figure out how a lonely, bullied kid who snuck onto a studio lot ended up, owning the entire industry.
Right.
We're going to dissect that massive gap between his fun movies, the ones I love, and his meaningful movies, the ones you love. And stick around because we are also going to look ahead to his return to sci-fi in 2026.
It's a fascinating trajectory. You have the audacity of youth, the technical mastery, and then this deep moral awakening.
Okay, let's unpack this. We have to start with the origin story because honestly, it sounds like a movie itself.
It really does.
If you wrote this in a script, a producer would tell you it's too unrealistic. We're talking about a 17-year-old Steven Spielberg visiting California.
Right, he's just a tourist at this point. A kid from the suburbs.
He goes to Universal Studios in Burbank, and he takes the tour bus. Now, most of us, we sit on the bus, we look at the fake houses, we take photos. But Spielberg, he pulls a fast one.
He refused to be a spectator.
Exactly. He tells the driver he needs to use the bathroom. The driver stops. Steven gets off, sneaks into a restroom, and just hides.
Wow.
He waits until the bus leaves, and suddenly, he's just loose on the Universal lot. No badge, no permission, just confidence.
It's incredible audacity for a teenager. Mm-hmm. But what happens next is even more telling about his character. Mm-hmm. He's wandering around, and he actually bumps into a staff member.
And you think he's caught.
Right. Most kids would panic, maybe run away. Mm-hmm. Spielberg charms the guy. They start talking cinema. And somehow, by the end of the conversation, he talks his way into getting a 3-day pass.
Which gave him legitimate access. But he didn't stop there. He didn't just use it to watch filming. He spent those 3 days networking, meeting people, figuring out the mechanics of the studio. Mm-hmm. But here is the part that blows my mind. And this is straight from the source material. He eventually found an empty janitor's closet, or like a supply room.
And he squatted in it.
He claimed it. He was attending Cal State at the time, majoring in film. But during his breaks and holidays, he would go to this janitor's closet at Universal, put his name on the door, and use it as his unofficial office. He just decided, I work here now.
That is the definition of hustle. But if we connect this to the bigger picture, we have to ask why he was doing this. What drives a 17-year-old to create a fake office in a janitor's closet? Is it just ambition?
Sure, he wanted to be a director. He wanted the glory.
It was ambition, yes. But the source material suggests something deeper. It was escape. If you look at his background, which the analyst Kim Johan highlights, Spielberg's reality wasn't nearly as glamorous as his ambition.
Right, he grew up in Arizona and Northern California, didn't he?
He did, and he was a Jewish boy growing up in neighborhoods where he was often the only Jewish kid.
Oh, wow.
It wasn't just that he was different, it was that he was targeted. The kids wouldn't call him Steven. They mocked him by calling him Spiel.
That's brutal.
He also struggled with dyslexia, which made him a slow learner in school. He was essentially an outcast. So the studio wasn't just a career goal. It was a safe haven. It was a place where the rules of the playground didn't apply.
It was the one place he could control the narrative.
Precisely. There's a fascinating detail about his name. Spielberg is German. It roughly translates to play mountain or performance mountain.
That feels like destiny.
He felt it was destiny. But his reality was isolation. He actually said something quite profound about his childhood influences. He said that he considered Walt Disney to be his birth parent, and the television set was his raising parent.
TV was my raising parent. That explains so much about his visual style. He speaks fluent screen.
It does. It suggests that his drive to get into Universal wasn't just about money or fame. It was a psychological need to physically inhabit the world that raised him. He needed to step inside the television to escape the bullying and the loneliness of the real world. He built a fortress out of cinema.
So you have this kid with a fake office and a dream. And eventually it pays off. He makes a short film called Amblin, which, by the way, is still the name of his production company today.
Of course.
Universal sees it, they sign him to a 7-year contract, and he drops out of college to work.
A bold move. He essentially bet his entire life on his ability to tell stories.
And his big break, and this is one of my personal favorites, is Duel, 1971. Have you seen this recently?
It's a masterclass in minimalism. It's what every film student studies to understand tension.
It's so simple. A guy is driving a car and a massive truck starts chasing him. That's it. That's the movie. But it is terrifying.
So terrifying.
And the source points out a key detail that made it work. Spielberg deliberately decided to never show the truck driver's face. You only ever see his hands on the wheel or his boots.
Which changes the entire dynamic of the film.
Totally. It makes the truck feel like a monster. It's not a man driving a vehicle. It's a conscious metallic beast trying to eat this little car.
It dehumanizes the villain, which makes it unstoppable. And that ability to turn a mechanical object into a character is exactly what led him to his next project. The big one. Jaws.
The movie that changed everything. 1975? Before Jaws, movies didn't open in hundreds of theaters at once. There was no summer blockbuster. Jaws invented that. It beat The Godfather at the box office.
Which is staggering to think about. I mean, The Godfather was high art. Jaws was, well, it was a shark.
But here is where it gets really interesting. Spielberg didn't want to do it.
He fought it tooth and nail.
He was terrified of being typecast. He had just done Duel, the truck movie. He thought if he did Jaws, he would just be the truck and shark director. He wanted to be taken seriously as an artist, not just a creature feature guy.
It's that internal conflict again. The entertainer versus the artist. The popcorn versus the criticism. So how did the studio convince him?
They basically made him a deal. They said, look, Steven, you do Jaws for us, and we will let you do whatever you want for your next movie.
The classic one for them, one for you.
Exactly. It was a classic one for them, one for you kind of deal.
And thank goodness he took it. But the production of Jaws is almost as famous as the movie itself. It was a disaster.
A total nightmare. They were scheduled for 55 days. It went way over, more than double that. And the shark, Bruce, the mechanical shark, it just didn't work. It sank. It jammed. It looked fake.
And this brings us to a critical insight about Spielberg's genius. Limitations often create the best art.
So true.
Because the shark wouldn't work, Spielberg couldn't show it. He had to cut subplots. He had to rely on the camera, the music, that famous John Williams score, and the suggestion of the shark.
The yellow barrels floating on the water, that's more scary than the shark because your imagination fills in the gap.
Exactly. If the shark had worked perfectly, Jaws might have been a cheesy B-movie monster flick where you see the rubber beast every 5 minutes. But because it broke, it became a masterpiece of suspense, the unseen terror. He took a technical failure and turned it into the defining aesthetic of the film.
It really is amazing that the biggest blockbuster of all time was partially an accident of broken machinery. So he conquers the summer, he does Close Encounters, Raiders of the Lost Ark, E.T. He is on a run that is statistically impossible.
I mean, just an incredible run.
But we have to fast forward to 1993. This is the year where the two sides of Spielberg, the fan and the critic, me and you, collide perfectly.
1993 is the miracle year. It is arguably the greatest single year any director has ever had in the history of cinema.
In one corner, you have Jurassic Park.
The ultimate popcorn movie.
It breaks his own box office record that he set with E.T. It's dinosaurs, it's CGI, it's the peak of movie magic. I remember seeing the T-Rex for the first time. It was mind-blowing. It was the moment we realized movies could show us anything.
And in the same year, actually, while he was overseeing the post-production of Jurassic Park, he released Schindler's List.
The whiplash is incredible. How do you do that? How do you edit a T-Rex eating a lawyer in the morning and then edit footage of a concentration camp in the afternoon?
It's profound. And it took a toll on him. He famously said he would cry every day during Schindler's List. He filmed it in black and white. He refused to take a salary for it because he called it blood money.
Wow.
And this is the moment, I think, where he finally silenced his own insecurities about being just a blockbuster guy.
He won big for this one.
7 Oscars,
Right.
including Best Picture and Best Director. But beyond the awards, this was personal. Remember that boy we talked about? The one bullied for being Jewish? The one who was called Spiel?
Yeah. This brings it full circle.
Schindler's List was him confronting that pain. It was him facing his identity, the anti-Semitism he experienced, and using his massive platform to tell a story of moral imperative. He applied that blockbuster technical mastery, the pacing, the editing, the visual language, to a story that absolutely needed to be heard. He forced the entire world to look at something they wanted to look away from.
So you have Jurassic Park for the fun and Schindler's List for the meaning. But the source material points to another movie that acts as a bridge between these two worlds, and that's E.T.
E.T. is pivotal, because on the surface, it looks like a sci-fi blockbuster. It sells toys, it has a cute alien, but if you scratch the surface, it is a heartbreaking drama.
It didn't start as a family movie, did it?
No. Surprisingly, it was originally conceived as a horror movie called Night Skies. It was going to be about aliens terrorizing a family, basically movie Signs decades before Signs.
So how did we get from aliens attacking to E.T. phone home?
Spielberg was lonely. He was reflecting on his parents' divorce, which was the defining trauma of his childhood. He remembered that imaginary friend he created as a child, the alien friend who filled the void left by his father.
Oh.
He decided to change the script. He made the alien benevolent.
And the family in E.T., looking back, it's so obvious. The mom is single. She's struggling. The dad is gone. He's in Mexico with his girlfriend or something.
Exactly. The alien E.T. becomes a surrogate for the absent father and the brother that Spielberg never had. It's a story about a broken middle-class family trying to heal. The sci-fi elements are just the wrapper for a very personal therapy session.
That's what makes him the king. He tricks you. You think you're watching a puppet eat Reese's Pieces, but you're actually crying about a divorce and abandonment.
That is the magic trick. He makes the personal universal.
Now let's talk about the rewards of that magic trick. Because you don't invent the blockbuster without getting paid. We need to talk about Spielberg the mogul.
The numbers are staggering.
As of 2018 data, his wealth was estimated around $3.7 billion. That is B for billion.
Unbelievable.
He's not just a director, he's an economy.
And that wealth comes from being savvy. He retained ownership. He founded DreamWorks. He's a producer on so many things people don't realize. Back to the Future, Men in Black, Transformers.
He basically owned the 80s and 90s, even when he wasn't directing. If you were eating popcorn in a theater, some of that money was likely going to Spielberg. But with great wealth comes great legal fees.
We have to touch on the divorce story mentioned in the notes.
The divorce from Amy Irving. This is a legendary Hollywood tale. They got divorced in 1989. Now, usually, wealthy people have ironclad prenups. Spielberg, being the optimist, the dreamer, he had written their prenuptial agreement on a cocktail napkin.
A literal napkin.
A literal napkin, and when they got to court, the judge took one look at it and said, yeah, this isn't valid.
An expensive mistake.
It cost him $100 million. At the time, it was the third most expensive celebrity settlement in history. Imagine losing $100 million because you didn't use real paper.
But though, to be fair, he recovered quite well. He married Kate Capshaw, the leading lady from Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom in 1991, and they have been together for over 30 years.
A happy ending after all. But let's pivot to his method. You mentioned he recovered well. How does he actually work? Because you don't direct Jurassic Park and Schindler's List in the same year by being slow or indecisive.
No, and this goes back to his TV training. Remember, he started with Night Gallery. In TV, you have to be fast. You have no budget. You have no time. Spielberg kept that discipline. He is famous for almost never rehearsing.
No rehearsals. That sounds chaotic.
It sounds chaotic, but for him, it's about spontaneity. He moves the camera fast. He knows exactly what he wants to see in the edit before he even shoots. He instantly cuts in the camera. He understands lenses and lighting as well as any cinematographer.
So he's not sitting there doing 20 takes trying to find the scene.
Rarely. He shoots fast to save the budget, a habit he never broke, even when he had billions. He respects the money.
And he's a purist, right?
He is. In a world that has gone almost entirely digital, Spielberg still prefers shooting on film.
Okay.
He wants that texture, that reality. He believes digital images are too clean, too sterile. He wants the grain.
Which brings us to today, or rather to the future. Because even though he's in his late 70s, he is not slowing down. We have news about his next big project, and frankly, I am hyped.
It is called Disclosure Day.
June 11th, 2026. Put it in your calendars. This is the return of Spielbergian sci-fi. We haven't had a proper alien movie from him in a while. We've got Emily Blunt, we've got Josh O'Connor, and from the description in the source material, it sounds intense.
It does. The premise hooks you immediately. The trailer apparently features Emily Blunt as a news anchor. She's on live TV, and suddenly she starts speaking in alien language, making these strange, guttural extraterrestrial sounds.
Can you imagine live TV, breaking news, and the ankle just starts channeling an alien? That is such a Spielberg hook. It grounds the fantastical in the mundane world of 24-hour news.
It raises an important question. Is it an invasion? Is it a message? And why does this matter? Because Spielberg plus aliens equals magic. It's his home turf.
And the script is by David Koepp, who wrote War of the Worlds and Jurassic Park, so we know they can do the scary, intense stuff too. This doesn't sound like the friendly E.T. alien.
No, it promises to be a synthesis of his career. The mystery and wonder of Close Encounters mixed with the modern tension and perhaps the cynicism of War of the Worlds. It's definitely something to watch for.
I cannot wait. All right, we've covered the janitor's closet, the shark that wouldn't work, the 1993 miracle, and the $100 million napkin. It is time for the final verdict. If you had to pick just one Spielberg movie, one movie to put in the time capsule, what is it?
It's a difficult choice given the variety, but for me, it has to be Schindler's List.
Because of the meaning.
Because it represents the perfection of art and morality. It is a film that physically hurts to watch, yet it is beautifully made. It shows what cinema can actually do. It can bear witness. It proves that the medium isn't just about escape, it's about confrontation. It's the film that justified his entire career. What about you?
See, I respect that. I really do. It's the right answer. But I'm the Blockbuster fan. I'm picking Catch Me If You Can.
Catch Me If You Can. That's an interesting choice. Explain.
Hear me out. It has the fun. It has the chase. It has Leonardo DiCaprio being charming. It's slick. It's cool. But underneath, it's still about a lonely boy trying to impress his father and put his broken family back together. It's the perfect blend of the fun Spielberg and the sad Spielberg. It's light on its feet, but heavy in its heart. Plus, the John Williams score is incredible.
Yeah, it's a fair point. It does synthesize his themes very well. The running, the deception, the desire for a cohesive family unit.
So what does this all mean? We're looking at a man who will be 79 years old when Disclosure Day comes out in 2026.
And yet he is directing with the same energy as that kid who snuck off the tour bus. He never lost that hunger. He never lost that need to tell stories.
He really is the director who knows best why we love movies. He knows we want to scream at a shark, cry at an alien, and learn something about history all in the same sitting.
He understands the human heart just as well as he understands the camera lens.
Well said. That's a wrap on our deep dive into the King of Hollywood. Until next time, keep your eyes on the road.
And your heart in the movies.